Welcome back to the Expensive Coins History channel, coin collectors and history enthusiasts. In today's video, we are diving deep into a fascinating piece of American coinage, the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel. This seemingly ordinary 5-cent coin has captured the attention of numismatists and collectors across the country, not just for its role in American pocket change, but for its rarity, historical context, and surprising market value in 2025. So make sure to watch until the end as we explore the coin's design, minting history, key varieties, and what makes certain examples worth far more than face value. To fully understand the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel, we must first place it within its historical and minting context. The coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint in the year 1982, during a time of significant economic transition in the United States. The early 1980s were marked by high inflation, fluctuating metal prices, and an increased demand for efficient coin production. It is important to note that 1982 was a pivotal year for U.S. coinage. While the Lincoln cent underwent a major composition change from bronze to copper-plated zinc, the Jefferson nickel retained its standard composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Despite its unchanged metal content, the year 1982 brought about unique characteristics for the Jefferson nickel, especially those minted in Philadelphia. The obverse of the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel features the familiar left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by sculptor Felix Schlag. The inscriptions include the word Liberty, the year 1982, and the mint mark P for Philadelphia, a detail that becomes important later in our discussion. On the reverse side, we find Jefferson's iconic Monticello estate, with inscriptions reading E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. Now let's explore what makes the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel particularly interesting and collectible. In 1980, the Philadelphia Mint began using the P mint mark on Jefferson nickels for the first time. Before this, coins from Philadelphia typically carried no mint mark at all. Therefore, by 1982, the use of the P mint mark was still relatively new, and inconsistencies in dies and striking quality were not uncommon. Some 1982 P nickels are known for weak strikes, die deterioration, and even minor errors, all of which can impact value. However, there is one especially important reason why the 1982 P nickel has garnered attention from collectors: the condition rarity of high-grade examples. Unlike some coins that are valuable due to low mintage, the 1982 P nickel was produced in vast numbers. Over 500 million examples were struck. However, what truly sets this coin apart is how difficult it is to find in high mint state grades, particularly with full steps, a term used by collectors to describe a sharply struck reverse where the steps of Monticello are fully visible. The Jefferson nickel series has a unique grading benchmark, full steps. This refers to the number of visible steps on the base of Monticello. A coin designated as having full steps, especially with 5 or 6 distinct steps, is significantly more valuable than a coin with weaker detail. As of 2025, high-grade 1982 P. Jefferson nickels with full steps are considered condition rarities. According to major grading companies like PCGS and NGC, examples that grade mint state 65 or higher with full steps are extremely scarce. Coins graded MS67 with full steps are considered nearly impossible to find and can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. In recent years, auction records have shown steady demand for these condition rarities. A 1982 P nickel graded MS67 with full steps has sold for over $1,000 at public auction. Even those in MS66 full steps can bring strong prices, often ranging from $100 to $400, depending on the eye appeal and strike quality. While circulated examples of the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel still trade at or just above face value, uncirculated coins, particularly those in high mint state condition with full steps, are commanding strong premiums. Here is a breakdown of estimated values as of mid-2025. Circulated examples in fine to extremely fine condition typically range between 5 cents and 25 cents. Mint state coins without full steps are valued between $1 and $10, depending on grade. MS65 with full steps. Approximately $75 to $120. MS66 with full steps, generally $200 to $400. MS67 with full steps, auction prices can exceed $1,000, with some examples reaching as high as $2,000, depending on rarity and bidder demand. It is important to note that prices can vary depending on market trends, population reports, and collector interest, which has been growing in recent years due to the scarcity of pristine examples from the early 1980s. If you are a collector or just starting to search through your pocket change, here are a few tips when looking for valuable 1982 P. Jefferson nickels. Always inspect the reverse for full steps. A magnifying glass or loupe is essential for this. Look for coins with minimal contact marks and strong luster. Consider submitting high-grade examples to reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC if you believe they may qualify for full steps designation. Keep an eye on auction results and population reports to track market movement and identify rare opportunities. In summary, while the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel may appear to be an ordinary 5-cent coin, it is anything but ordinary for collectors who understand its historical context, its challenges in high-grade preservation, and its condition rarity, from its role in the evolution of the U.S. Mint's production standards to its emergence as a modern key date in the Jefferson nickel series. The 1982 P continues to surprise collectors with its hidden value. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a curious beginner, this is a coin worth keeping an eye on. The 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent coin. While millions of these pennies were minted and used in everyday transactions across the United States, certain examples can be worth far more than 1 cent. Why is that? What makes this small copper coin from 1981 special? Let's explore the history, rarity, and current market value of this iconic American coin, and why some of them may be worth a lot of money in 2025. First, let's talk about the history of the Lincoln cent. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the Lincoln 1-cent coin became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the coin carries the profile of the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, a powerful symbol of American values and democracy. By 1981, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for over 70 years. The reverse at that time still featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959. It was not until 2009 that the reverse would change to commemorate Lincoln's bicentennial. Now, let's move on to the minting and identification of the 1981 Lincoln cent. These coins were struck at 3 mints: the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark, the Denver Mint, indicated by a small d, and the San Francisco Mint, using an S, mainly for proof coins. So, a coin with no mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia. In 1981, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 7.5 billion Lincoln cents. Yes, that's billion with a B. With such high production numbers, it might seem impossible for any 1981 cent to be rare or valuable, but as you'll soon learn, certain varieties, conditions, and minting quirks make all the difference. Now, let's address the rarity and valuable varieties of the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. While most of these coins are extremely common and worth only face value in circulated condition, collectors and experts look for specific die varieties and high-grade examples that can command a premium in today's market. One of the most sought-after varieties from 1981 is related to the transition between two different hub types, Type 1 and Type 2 dies. In short, the Type 2 reverse design, introduced late in 1981, features clearer and sharper lettering on the reverse, especially in the word America. Coins from Philadelphia that exhibit this design are more desirable to collectors. Also, proof-like strikes, die errors, off-center strikes, and double die obverse or reverses can significantly raise the value of a 1981 Lincoln cent. Next, let's talk about coin grading, a key factor that influences the value of any collectible coin. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS 65 or higher, meaning mint state and in nearly perfect uncirculated condition, can be dramatically more valuable than the same coin in average circulated condition. According to professional grading services like PCGS and NGC, a 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln cent in MS 65 red condition can be worth anywhere from $5 to $25. depending on market demand and appearance. But coins graded MS-67 red or higher can fetch between $100 and $250, or even more if the luster, strike, and eye appeal are exceptional. Error coins, such as double dies or striking anomalies, have sold at auctions for several $100s, especially if verified and certified. Let's now examine the current market value in 2025. As of this year, the coin market continues to show strong interest in high-grade copper coins, especially those minted before the 1982 composition change from 95% copper to copper-plated zinc. In fact, some investors are holding on to pre-1982 pennies for their intrinsic copper content. At today's metal prices, the melt value of a 1981 Lincoln cent is approximately 2 to 3 cents, based on its copper weight. However, melting U.S. pennies is still illegal, so their collector value is more relevant. Certified MS-67 red examples of the 1981 no-mint mark cent are selling for $150 to $300. High-quality double-die errors are selling for $500 or more. Even raw, uncirculated rolls of 1981 pennies are being sold at a premium due to copper content and collector interest. So, what should you look for if you want to find a valuable 1981 Lincoln cent? Check for the no-mint mark, meaning it was minted in Philadelphia. Inspect the coin for signs of doubling, misstrikes, or off-center designs. Look for red coloration. Coins with full red surfaces are more valuable. Get high-grade coins professionally graded to maximize market value. Compare the reverse lettering to identify whether you have a Type 1 or Type 2 reverse. Even if your 1981 penny turns out to be common, it's a great addition to any U.S. coin collection and could become more desirable over time. The 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent coin may appear ordinary, but it holds real potential for collectors, especially those who understand its varieties, grading, and market demand. While most are worth face value, certain rare examples can bring in hundreds of dollars in 2025. So before you toss that penny into a change jar, take a closer look. It might be worth much more than you think. We're diving into a coin that has recently sparked renewed interest in the collector's market, the 1984 D. Jefferson nickel, also known as the 1984 Denver Mint 5 cents coin. By the end of this video, you'll know everything from its history and minting process to its current value in the market and why some examples of this coin can be worth a surprising amount of money. Make sure to stick around because we'll also talk about rare errors that can turn this otherwise common coin into a collector's jackpot. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The reverse showcases his historic home, Monticello, a design by Felix Schlag. The 1984 D. Jefferson nickel was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the primary U.S. mint facilities responsible for circulating coinage. It carries a small D mint mark on the right side of Monticello, just to the right of the building steps. In 1984, over 543 million Jefferson nickels were struck at the Denver Mint. This was a high mintage year, making this coin relatively common in circulated condition. However, as you'll learn shortly, certain high-grade and error examples have made this coin a key interest to collectors even decades later. The 1984 D. Jefferson nickel continues the classic design tradition of the series. On the obverse, we find Jefferson's portrait accompanied by the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," followed by the date, in this case, 1984. The reverse features the iconic Monticello with the inscriptions, "E Pluribus Unum, United States of America," and the denomination, 5 cents. The D mint mark is placed near Monticello's lower right side, just above the rim. Compositionally, the coin is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, with a standard diameter of 21.2 mm and a weight of 5 grams. In circulated condition, the 1984 D nickel is fairly common and typically worth face value, 5 cents. However, the story changes dramatically when we move into higher grades and specialty strikes. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC at MS-65 or higher are significantly scarcer. Mint state examples with clean surfaces, full steps on Monticello, and sharp strikes can fetch substantial premiums. What are full steps? This refers to the clarity and sharpness of the steps on Monticello. A full steps designation particularly 5FS or 6FS, indicates a flawless strike in that area, which is rare for 1984 D nickles.in 2021. A PCGS-graded MS66 with full steps sold for over $400 at auction.an. Even scarcer MS67 with full steps has reportedly sold privately for upwards of $1,500, though these examples are few and far between. As of 2025, due to increased interest in the Jefferson series and more collectors pursuing registry sets, prices have continued to rise. The current market value for a certified MS66 full steps 1984 D Jefferson nickel ranges between $250 and $500, depending on eye appeal and toning. Now here's where things get exciting. Error coins. Several types of minting errors have been found on 1984 D nickels, including off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing, die cracks and die clashes. Double dies, though rare for this year, are possible and highly sought after. A dramatic off-center strike or a double die obverse in near mint condition can sell for hundreds of dollars, or even more if certified by PCGS or NGC. Always inspect your coins under magnification and consider submitting interesting finds to a grading service. As of mid-2025, the coin collecting hobby continues to thrive, and the Jefferson nickel series is gaining popularity, especially among younger collectors. This growing interest has led to increased demand for high-grade examples and registry-quality coins. Here's a quick summary of market value in 2025 for the 1984 D Jefferson nickel. Circulated condition, face value, 5 cents, uncirculated MS60, MS63, $1 to $5 MS64, $5 to $10 MS65, $15 to $30 MS66 full steps, $250 to $500 MS67 full steps, $1,000 or more, if available. Major errors or die varieties, $100 to $1,000 plus, depending on severity and certification. So what should you do if you think you found a valuable 1984 D Jefferson nickel? Check for full steps under a magnifying glass or loupe, examine the fields for any die cracks, doubling, or unusual features. If the coin appears uncirculated with strong luster, consider submitting it to PCGS or NGC for grading. Visit coin forums or local coin shows to learn from experienced collectors. Always store valuable coins in protective holders to preserve their condition. The 1984 D Jefferson nickel might not seem special at first glance, but as we've seen, it holds potential value, especially in top condition or with unique minting errors. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner just getting started, coins like this remind us that everyday change can sometimes hold hidden treasures. The most mysterious and valuable modern Lincoln cents ever struck, the 1992 D Lincoln penny with the rare close AM variety. You might want to check your change jar after watching this video, because if you have one of these rare coins, it could be worth thousands of dollars today in 2025. So grab your loupe, settle in, and let's uncover the fascinating story of the 1992 D Lincoln 1-cent coin that's turning heads in the numismatic world. The Lincoln cent has been a staple of American coinage since 1909, when it was introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, the coin has undergone several design changes, but the most significant modern redesign occurred in 1989 when the United States Mint introduced a new reverse design for the cent. This reverse, featuring the Lincoln Memorial, was modified slightly in the early 1990s to create two distinct varieties, the wide AM and the close AM. These varieties are based on the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse of the coin. Normally, from 1993 onward, Lincoln cents meant for circulation featured the close AM design. However, in 1992, the wide AM variety was standard, and the close AM reverse should not have been used. That is what makes the 1992 close AM cents, especially those struck at the Denver Mint, with the D Mint mark, so incredibly rare and valuable. In 1992, by all official accounts, every Lincoln penny struck was supposed to bear the wide AM reverse. However, through a probable minting error or transitional design use, a very small number of coins were struck with a reverse die intended for later years, the close AM reverse. What makes the 1992 D close AM penny truly special is its extreme rarity. Only a handful of examples are known to exist. These coins were likely struck at the Denver Mint by mistake when a reverse die intended for proof or future production was used on a small number of circulation strike coins. Collectors classify these coins as transitional errors, and they are among the most sought-after modern varieties in American numismatics. Now you're probably wondering, how can you tell if you have a 1992 D-close AM penny? Here's what to look for. Flip the coin to the reverse side and look closely at the word America. On standard 1992 cents, the letters A and M are clearly separated, that's the wide AM. But on the rare close AM variety, the two letters are nearly touching, with very little space between them. You will also want to look for sharp, well-defined details around the FG initials located to the right of the memorial building. On the close AM variety, the initials are placed slightly further from the building than on standard wide AM coins. Because of the subtleties involved, using a magnifier or coin loop is essential. In some cases, people have mistaken worn wide AMs for close AMs, so it's important to inspect the coin carefully. If you think you found one, it is highly recommended to have it authenticated and graded by a reputable coin grading service such as PCGS or NGC.in. 2025. Prices for certified 1992 D-close AM cents remain strong. Recent auction records show that high-grade examples, especially those graded mint state 65 and above, can fetch between $20,000 and $50,000, depending on eye appeal, strike quality, and overall condition. Even coins in lower uncirculated grades can bring several $1,000s. In fact, one example graded MS67 red by PCGS sold for over $26,000 in a major auction. Due to its ultra-low population, collectors are constantly on the lookout for high-grade specimens, raw or ungraded coins, if confirmed to be authentic close AM varieties, still carry significant value. Depending on condition, these can be worth from a few hundred to several $1,000s. Demand has remained steady over the past several years, and because very few of these coins surface each year, values are expected to continue rising, especially as more collectors turn their attention to rare modern varieties. The 1992 D-close AM Lincoln cent is more than just a penny. It's a piece of minting history, a treasure from a transitional period at the U.S. Mint, and one of the rarest coins in the Lincoln cent series. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a curious coin roll hunter, this is one of those coins that proves even modern pocket change can contain hidden gems worth a small fortune. So check your coin jars, examine your 1992 pennies carefully, and never underestimate what a simple 1-cent coin might be worth. You just might be holding a piece of numismatic gold, and tell us in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin in your change? What's your best discovery? The 2000p Jefferson nickel, the 5-cent coin minted at the Philadelphia Mint. We will explore its historical background, production details, design evolution, errors, and of course, its value and rarity in today's coin market in the year 2025. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone who just found this coin in pocket change, this video will give you everything you need to know about the 2000p Jefferson nickel. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by artist Felix Schlag, it features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. The reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home. By the year 2000, the Jefferson nickel had already seen over 6 decades of production. The coin retained the same basic design, though modifications to Schlag's original Monticello design had been made over the years. The obverse still bore the classic image of Jefferson, while the reverse prominently featured Monticello with increased clarity and detail due to dye enhancements implemented in the late 1990s. The year 2000 marked a high production year for the Philadelphia Mint. The P Mint mark, located to the right of Jefferson's bust, indicates that this coin was minted in Philadelphia. In total, over 688 million Jefferson nickels bearing the 2000p mint mark were produced. This places the coin among the more common modern issues in terms of raw mintage. On the surface, such high numbers would suggest that this coin holds little numismatic value beyond face value. However, the real story lies in the coin's condition, strike quality, and potential mint errors. When it comes to the 2000p Jefferson nickel, certain rare varieties and errors have become highly desirable among collectors. Some of the most notable include full steps varieties. These refer to coins that show a complete set of horizontal steps on the Monticello building. To qualify, the steps must be fully struck and uninterrupted, showing at least 5 full steps. Jefferson nickels with full steps from the 2000p mintage are relatively scarce due to weaker strikes that year. Coins in mint state with full steps can command a significant premium, double die obverse or reverse. While not officially recognized for this specific year by major grading services, a small number of 2000p nickels have surfaced with doubling effects, particularly on the lettering or Monticello detail. These potential errors are still under scrutiny by experts, and authenticated examples can bring high values. Off-center strikes and broad strikes. Modern mechanical errors such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and broad strikes occasionally appear in the 2000p series. Depending on severity and overall eye appeal, these error coins can be worth anywhere from a few dollars to several hundred. As with all coins, the condition is a key factor in determining the 2000p Jefferson nickels value. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. While circulated examples in good to very fine condition are typically worth face value, mint state examples, particularly those graded MS65 and above, begin to show collector value. In 2025, PCGS and NGC graded coins with full steps designation in mint state 66 or higher are bringing in notable auction results. Coins graded MS67 with full steps can fetch between $75 and $250, depending on strike quality and market demand. As of mid-2025, the market for modern Jefferson nickels continues to grow, especially among younger collectors and registry set builders. The 2000p nickel, while common in circulated condition, has a relatively small surviving population in top mint state grades with full steps, circulated condition, G to XF typically valued at face value, though some error coins may be worth more. Uncirculated, MS60 to MS64 values range between 25 cents and $2. Depending on luster and eye appeal. MS65 to MS66, no full steps can range from $5 to $15 in today's collector market. MS65 to MS67 with full steps, currently valued between $75 and $250, with the highest prices going to coins graded MS67 or those with exceptional strike and luster. Major errors, rare double dies or dramatic off-center errors can sell from $50 to over $300, depending on certification and appeal. Prices may vary depending on trends in online marketplaces such as eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections. Certification from a reputable third-party grader like PCGS or NGC remains crucial for maximizing resale value. If you have a 2000p Jefferson nickel in your pocket or coin jar, it's worth taking a second look. While most examples are only worth 5 cents, the small percentage of high-grade or error coins can be worth considerably more. Inspect the steps on Monticello closely, look for signs of doubling, and consider submitting your coin for grading if you believe it has premium characteristics. So there you have it, a comprehensive look at the 2000p Jefferson nickel, a modern coin with historical roots and hidden potential. Whether you're collecting for fun, investment, or historical interest, always remember that even the most common coins can hold rare surprises. Be sure to like this video if you found it informative, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into coins, currency, and collecting. Drop a comment below if you found a 2000p Jefferson nickel or if you have any questions about grading or value. Until next time, happy collecting.